And we're back. I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime. Happy Friday, everybody. What's up? Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. I see y'all there. What's up, Millie? Good to see you. It's been a while. How are you, my friend? Edith, what's up? Always a pleasure. Shadow, Isis, TGIF to the fullest. Man, Lady for Justice, how you doing? Getting this party started now, guys. This is a great thing that's happening, but that's what I'm gonna say. But now, listen, David was arrested, but he was arrested without an indictment. Now, there's going to be some legal jargon talk today, even for me, because I've been researching this all day. Why does the indictment matter? And the cause of death will make or break this case. And just minutes before I came on here, the cause of death came out, guys. It came out. So we're in good shape as far as that goes. Now we've got to get an indictment. We've got to get charges, and that comes on Monday. So welcome in, everybody. Let's say hi to everyone, and then I'm going to throw on a 5-minute, it's about 5-minute video of everything that you need to know in 5 minutes so we can move on. And I can tell you the arrest is great, but a young lady lost her life, and why did it take so long to get there? 7 months after they found her body, it's taken this long to get an arrest. Now, I assure you, if I was the last person to be seen alive with someone, and then they found a body in my car with an incinerator and tools, I'd have already been arrested and charged. All right? So this is wild. I also found pictures of his hideout, David's hideout. So you guys always know when you come to Guilty of Crime, you're in for an episode, right? Yes. Okay. We got an episode today. I'm going to tell you all about the arrest without an indictment, what we need, what's in it, cause of death, what that is, what that means, and where we're going next. All right. So good to see you guys. Everybody, what's up? Jay, I'm here listening on break for 25 minutes. Well, hello there. We'll be here for a while. Good to see you, Melissa. All right. Yeah, so we're going to get into that, guys. I really want you guys to know where we are, and without all of the, right? There's a lot of stuff. We can go on to TikTok right now and find some TikTok clip, but I don't want to go that route. I really want to break this down with you, and you understand there's still a problem here, and talk about everything else that's been happening in between. And David's hideout. Nobody knew that he was in Hollywood still, or Los Angeles. Did you guys know that? We all thought he was at his parents' house. Remember, they were trying to get out of having to testify, but they did. And Neo did. And we saw Neo flip so hard, it's not even funny. But that's what happens with little bratty ass kids that have too much money too fast. They think they could do anything and everything they want. And as much as Neo and David were little gay boy lovers, whatever the hell their secrets were, knowing that Neo knowing that David's a pedo, he still continued to follow the money. All right. So many people, in my opinion, have turned against David. I'm sure they've already got Asia by now. They got her. She was on there to testify. And Neo, I don't know what the parents said, but after all of the grand jury hearings that they've done, now we've come to the arrest. All right, so come on in, guys. Mama Pearl, good to see you. I'm glad you made it in time. You are amazing, not afraid to go there. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Where are we going? Makes you wonder why he was treated that way instead of like any. Well, does it? It's the money. Money talks, bullshit walks, guys. That's just how it goes. We are not those privileged. None of us are those privileged people that I know of that can just toss money down for a $20,000 a month house and then just scrap a Tesla that we don't want anymore and then go buy another one. Right? Just none of us have that. All right. I have never thought you left LA. He was near LA, he was never too far from drugs, right? Well, I'm gonna show you where he's been. You're gonna see the door getting kicked in. You're gonna see him getting arrested, etc., etc. So come on in, guys. How you doing today? Good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Joanne. Good to see you. Allie's already laughing at me. I don't know if she's laughing at me or laughing at you. I don't know what's going on, but welcome in. Happy Friday, y'all. We're here for justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. In life, she didn't get justice, and she was groomed way too young. By the way, her parents didn't stick up for her the way that they should. As a matter of fact, I don't think I don't think they speak English very well either. So I believe there was a balance of money and what she was listening to them, because the last time they ever saw her, she was going to the movies with somebody, the brother said, and she never came back. But they knew she was dating David, this David guy with the money that would mysteriously get into their accounts. So nobody looked out for this 11, 12, then 13 and 14-year-old little girl. Instead, he probably just passed her around, and she got too old for him, and he said, whatever. But what I can tell you is what we're not going to have is the cause of death saying that she overdosed. So that's a good thing, guys. As soon as I get to the cause of death, I will tell you. I was dying. I was like, please don't come back. Please don't come back as an overdose or self-inflicted, please. All right. I don't think he did it. Oh, absolutely not. Swifty, you're 110% correct. I agree with you on that. And that's why people are testifying, because he who talks first gets the best deal and possibly immunity as well. So Allie said what you said. All right, we need justice, guys. It's Friday. Good to see you, Foxy, Kel. I know Tiff's here somewhere. All right, you know what? Before we do any of this, let's take a look real quick. I love seeing this. I love seeing this for him. I love this for him. Being arrested. He looks much different with his beard and his hair. He's not wearing stars on his face and trying to appeal to little girls now, right? Ding dong, the bonnet said, siren. What are you guys talking about in chat there? Yeah, Neo's definitely talking. Neo threw him under the bus. All right, so he got arrested. There's his booking information. David Anthony Burke, just a regular dude, right? 21 years old. Well, he's not that regular. He's a pedo, straight up a pedo. And we know that. All right. So before we continue any further, let me put this up and I'll give you guys a recap so people don't say, Jay, what the hell happened? All right. So this is from whenever it started until now, and it's about 5 minutes. All right. Let's listen to this together and then we'll get started. There'll be stuff in here that you don't know about, I'm sure. All right, 1, 2, 3, let's go.
The body of a 14-year-old girl was found in a car abandoned in the Hollywood Hills in September. A popular New York-born singer whose name was tied to the vehicle was eyed by internet sleuths as possibly being linked to her death, and a grand jury launched a probe.
Don't forget, guys, if you're rolling in or you're rolling out, do me a favor, hit that like button. Share this if you would, and if you have the means to get a membership, gift a membership, what have you, we do have the goal. Yeah, he just turned 21 and she was 14. The medical examiner called her 15. They aged her as a 15-year-old. However, only to say that David had been dealing with her for years, because we know back in 2023, she kept missing and not missing, which makes her, 11 when she started being groomed? That makes me so angry. All right. You guys already know my deal, and you know I have a daughter that exact age, and they all love the internet, and these piece of crap pedo monsters with too much money just out there doing what they want. No, that's not going down, dude.
Into the 20-year-old star, but no arrests were made until now.
7
David,
months
who has not been
later.
spotted publicly for months, was taken out of his home in handcuffs, surrounded by multiple officers from the LAPD after he was arrested on April 16th, with video obtained by the California Post showing the singer with his hands behind his back as he was led down a residential street in the Hollywood Hills. Neighbors told the outlet that cops swarmed the area. An officer was on a loudspeaker outside the home shouting surrender before the singer was taken into custody. The LAPD confirmed to the Post that Burke was arrested for the murder of Celeste Rivas, just the latest turn in the case that has captivated fans and social media. Here's everything you need to know about the musician David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez, the young teen found dismembered in his abandoned Tesla. On September 8th, workers at a
Now, mind you, I want you guys to understand the timeline of this, all right? And understand that just because we have an arrest, there is no indictment. There are no charges. The only time we're going to hear that is once they go back to the district attorney and they make that connection. I guess it was an investigative grand jury that was seeing if there was enough information. However, from what I understand, the evidence that they do have is going to be really circumstantial. All right. Yeah, we haven't even got there yet to what he might be saying happened. We're not even close to that. Let's go.
The Los Angeles tow yard noticed a putrid smell coming from a Tesla that had been abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. When police arrived to investigate, they made a grim discovery. Inside the Tesla's front trunk was a dismembered body wrapped in plastic. The Tesla in question was registered to David Anthony Burke, a 20-year-old New York-born artist known professionally as David, stylized as D4vd. At the time the body was found in the Tesla, Burke had been on a worldwide tour and performed in Minneapolis that same night. Burke shot to fame in 2022, currently boasting more than 37 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Now, guys, if you don't know the background of this guy, he was just a nerdy little gamer that wanted to use music while he was streaming. He found he couldn't use the music while he was streaming because, well, we all know you either got to pay for that or split the profits. So he started making music from his phone in the closet. It blew up. And this guy just running around with way too many millions of dollars to do whatever he pleases. And the things that he pleases are pretty dark and scary. If you look at my thumbnail, it says, "I killed her and I didn't even regret it." That's part of the song that the news is even quoting. So keep that in mind. This kid is 21, but he's still a kid that got way too much money too fast with lots of dark ideas. And he thinks he's going to come back from this. I don't.
After two of his singles, Romantic Homicide and Here With Me, went viral on TikTok, he latched onto the momentum and released his debut album in April. After police discovered the body in the singer's car, it was reported that he was cooperating with authorities while continuing his tour. The tragedy led to Burke seeing a streaming boost on Spotify. As of September 21st, David's single, Romantic Homicide, jumped to number 8 on the music platform's daily top songs in the US. But there were already signs that the incident would impact the up-and-coming singer negatively, as he was scrubbed from a campaign by the brands Crocs and Hollister mere days after they both announced him as their face of their...
Not just them, my friends. I'm excited to tell you that Interscope Records also scrubbed him off of their site. I was going to get into that, but I didn't realize they were talking about it now. Interscope Records, that's a big deal. Quietly scrubbed him completely from the label's site, like he doesn't exist. Not only did David get his freedom taken away last night, but also his label with Interscope Records. Now that's what brings him the bucks that he can rent $20,000 a night places, or $20,000 a month. I'm sorry. All right. So on the artist page in Interscope, where they all signed talent lives and featured, his page no longer exists. Many people are distancing themselves from him, including his own friends that are turning back on him. Now, even listen, when you search in a normal web browser right now, David and Interscope Records together, the link doesn't appear. It's like he just disappeared, kind of like Celeste did, right? Not only that, but other companies are also taking him off. They're like, I'm not gonna put my I'm not sticking my neck out for this guy. So rightfully so.
Their Dream Drop collaboration. Things took a further turn when the body was eventually identified. A little more than a week after the body was found inside David's abandoned Tesla, California authorities identified the deceased as 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Riverside Sheriff's Office confirmed that Rivas had been reported missing from Lake Elsinore in 2024, when she was only 13 years old. Rivas' body was found on September 8th, the day after what would have been her 15th birthday, but she had already been dead for some time. Once Rivas was named as the victim, police jumped into high gear, labeling the case as a homicide investigation. Cops raided a Los Angeles house where the singer had reportedly been living and seized several items of evidence. The raid on Burke's pad comes as connections between the pop star and the dead teen keep piling up online by internet sleuths. Screenshots of old messages by David's Discord fan server show he was rumored to be dating a teen named Celeste, years before Rivas was found dead. In one disturbing message in the fan chat room apparently dug up by the online detectives, a user allegedly responded to a post from Burke in 2024, telling him to release the song about Celeste Rivas Hernandez, which would have been posted 4 months after she was reported missing.
Now, guys, I'm also happy to report that he's not going to release that album either, just so you know. Initially, they pumped the brakes on his new release that he is already put out or already filmed, and the music promotion for him and everything is off. Once Celeste Rivas was pointing the finger, or her body pointed the finger at him, all of that double deluxe album gone from him. All right. Also, sources direct to TMZ at the time told Interscope's parent company, Sony, and Wasserman to pause all promotional activities related to David, and he scrubbed his own social media. Everything's gone. Originally, he scrubbed his social media just with the pictures of him and Celeste, but not anymore. They're all gone now.
In 2023, Burke allegedly made an unreleased track in which he mentions the name Celeste twice, which was leaked on X following Rivas' identification. In the song, Burke allegedly sings, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest, smell her on my clothes like cigarettes." Rivas' mother told TMZ that the young teen had been dating someone named David before she went missing. The teen also mysteriously had a tattoo on her right index finger that read, "Shh." Several celebrities also have the same tattoo, including Rihanna and Lindsay Lohan, neither of whom is connected to Rivas, but perhaps more mysteriously, so does Burke. Internet sleuths have also been hard at work digging up unverified videos and photos of Burke with a young woman bearing a strong resemblance to Rivas, many times with her face partially covered. Confirmed photos of Rivas were circulating on missing posters in 2024. In one alleged live stream video that is particularly disturbing, a girl resembling Rivas was seen answering fan questions with Burke.
Now, guys, this is a big deal. This video is a big deal, and I believe this is going to be used, if not already used, in the grand jury. That is, in fact, Celeste Rivas, and she talks about herself being underage and raping young girls. It's right there. And then he goes on to say, can we just delete this? Let's scrub it so everybody doesn't know that I'm a pedo. I gotta tell you, he probably had more younger females that just weren't out in the public. All right, he did shack up. Remember, he had a second home in Hollywood. That might have been his second home that he called a cottage. I'm going to show that to you next. Right, in the cottage, so to speak, he was hanging out with Celeste.
And mentioned child rape.
I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Also popped up of Rivas' former teacher telling students about how he had taught the teen. He later told TMZ that he was trying to warn the kids about the dangers of social media. X users also dug up another alleged video from June 2024, reportedly showing a girl resembling Rivas going backstage after Burke's show. The girl in pink pants can be seen wearing Hello Kitty Crocs. Missing persons posters from April 2024 say Rivas was last seen wearing gray pants, a black sweater, a hat, and Hello Kitty sandals. Burke canceled his world tour and hired high-powered lawyer Blair Burke, who previously worked for disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. Then in February, the Post obtained court documents revealing that Burke was being investigated for murder and that a grand jury had launched a probe.
All right, so all real quickly caught up. There we go. All right, so let's just take a look at this. The disappearance of Celeste Rivas, as you can see. Nice timeline. She was last seen April of 2024. Listen, we're in 2026, right? We're April 17, 2026. This is 2 years ago that Celeste was last seen. From 24 to 25, she was still missing over a year with no sign of Celeste. Well, there were some signs. September 8th is where the body's found in the Tesla. Late 2025, suspects emerged. David identified as the prime suspect, but they didn't do anything. Behind the scenes is all we know, that they were having a secret grand jury. In January, I told you guys in December that we would come back in January or February with some kind of closure or what's next, because they were going to have the grand jury probe in January. Then February came, and you guys know everyone was like, when is David getting arrested? And finally, yesterday, April 16th, thank you so much, Foxy. April 16th, David was arrested. And I'm going to show you where in Hollywood Hills. April 20th, 2026, on Monday, the case is going to the district attorney, and he's probably going to be in big trouble. Now, he has no option of a bond. He's just sitting in a cell right now, you guys. Okay, we need justice for her. He's sitting in a cell right now, doesn't have access to anything, no way, know how to bond, because they didn't even charge him with anything. So that's a big problem, that he's not charged or indicted, but he's arrested. All right. Come on in, everybody. How you doing? Again, thank you, Foxy. If you received the membership from Foxy, please thank her, as well as Michelle. If you received the membership from her, please thank her. All right. Let's move on. Jojo, happy Friday. How you doing? And I'll try to answer stuff when I'm not reading. So David Burke, he's arrested. Let's talk about that. And what in the hell does that mean? Well, first of all, let's go to David Anthony Burke's. He's being represented by Blair Burke. That's his lawyer, Marilyn Bednarski and Regina Peter. He has a team. He has money right now. Now, his team is saying, and that's why the cause of death is so important. He says, let us be clear. The actual evidence in this case will show how that David Burke did not kill Celeste Rivas, and murder was not the cause of death. David has only been detained under suspicion. We will vigorously defend David's innocence. There's been no indictment returned by any grand jury in this case, and no criminal complaint filed. I want you guys to realize that when you're all caught up in the sensationalized part of David being arrested, but none of that other stuff has happened. And you know damn well they're going to try to use some kind of nonsense. She went to hit me and this, or I found her dead, whatever. It's going to be that they're going to try to go for, abuse of a corpse and all of the lesser charges. Right. And the lawyer's right. That lawyer is absolutely right. In saying that, because that's the thing. All right. Now, we've waited for a long time. David Burke finally is arrested in the case of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right. She disappeared back in 2024 in Lake Elsinore. Her case was actually cold for almost a year, but everything changed on September 8th when workers saw the Hollywood tow. When workers at Hollywood Tow reported a foul smell, they found her in the trunk. Then yesterday, April 16th, LAPD arrested him at his home in Hollywood Hills. Now, he's being held without a bail as prosecutors review the case, and they thought it'd be funny to arrest him on the weekend because now he has to wait until Monday to see a judge. All right, so whether or not others are involved, that's going to be focused on Monday. All right, so stay tuned to that. Stay tuned to all of that. And we need justice for Celeste. Now, here's the problem. Let me show you what the problem is, my friends. The problem with the arrest. Let me just play this for you. Here's the problem, and we're going to get deeper into that. And medical examiner, what the hell that means. Why does it matter what the medical examiner has to say about anything? All right, let's come on here and check this out.
I think there is a problem in the prosecution's case against David the singer. Let me explain. The grand jury has been hearing this case for 5 months, since November. Beth Silverman, the DA, has been presenting witness after witness after witness to this grand jury to get a
What?
grand jury indictment. We know that there has been a dogfight between the DA's office and the medical examiner over cause of death that we are told and have been told for a long time after Celeste Rivas's body was found that they were having a very difficult time establishing cause of death. And that is an issue here. But then the question.
Now, but listen, I named my title before I saw the cause of death, and it says cause of death will literally make or break this case. So right after he came on and I started driving home, I had to go to the store and whatnot. It comes out breaking news, and I'm going to show you that afterwards. Medical examiner ruled Celeste Rivas' death a homicide, guys. That's fantastic news. Had they ruled it anything else, it would be an easy out for David. So we'll go into details about that. But there is a huge problem in this case. There's obstacles in the way. Now, one obstacle is now out of the way because the cause of death is homicide. All right. They're saying somebody else killed her. She did not do that to herself. Now, don't laugh and say, how could she dismember herself, Jay? That's not what I'm saying. Think about Ramon Preciado. We just watched the Preciado case where he helped. Ramon Preciado went to help his son clean up the bodies. They exchanged the rags, dumped the bodies, and went home. He's being charged. He's being charged to the fullest, and he's facing up to 20 years for that. So I want you to understand how this is going to work and that they're absolute obstacles. And thank you, Sadie's mama. Absolutely. I hope you're doing good today under your scars. Justice for Celeste, more than one. I hope not screwed up right. But listen, thank you for that, first of all. And second of all, there are going to be more than one person involved, I'm betting. But I think those people are going to get immunity unless they're totally transparent and they didn't cut, chop, move, whatever. They've already got who was driving the car, guys. They know who was driving the car and who dropped it off and just kept walking away. All right. Happy Friday. How are you? All right, let's continue. Here's the problem. We got obstacles, guys.
If Beth Silverman was before that grand jury for 5 months with the end goal of getting an indictment for murder, why did the police arrest David yesterday and then say they're going to present the case to the DA on Monday so that the DA can determine whether to file formal charges or not? That makes absolutely no sense, because it was the grand jury that was supposed to indict here and not the DA just charging him. If the DA wanted to charge, what was the point of a
Now, everybody's going to talk about this today and tomorrow until Monday when it comes up and we hopefully hear more. Everybody's going to talk about it, and we shouldn't just breathe easy just yet until the indictment and the charges are handed down by an actual either district attorney or grand jury that's not just a probative. You can't be a probative grand jury. You don't have the power to do anything except say, yeah, there's enough evidence to show that this guy was involved and we can go on these charges, because there's going to be charges and then lesser charges. All right. Come on in. Happy Friday, everyone. Maggie, how you doing? Deborah. God, I got a lot to talk about, not just in this case, but with the Nancy Guthrie case. I can't wait to get back into it next week. All right, let's continue. Here's the problem.
Grand jury. So what happened at the grand jury so that they either didn't indict him, that she never asked the grand jury to actually indict, or did the grand jury issue a no bill, which means they rejected the case? I don't think they would have rejected the case outright, although I don't know. But the only other option is that that Beth Silverman never asked for a formal indictment after presenting evidence for 5 months before the grand jury. So why? And the police say we're going to present the case to the DA. The DA's had the case for 5 months.
Yeah, that's wild that they're doing it this way. Again, we're in California, so it's a little bit different here. I looked it up and it says, you don't got to worry about it too much. Yes, that is a problem, but most of the time when you get this far with a you've got a probable cause, obviously, because you've been arrested. Grand jury probative has said there's enough evidence. Now, I don't know why they're doing it. It's almost like they're doing it backwards. But listen, a grand jury indictment is one way to formally charge someone, but it's not the only way. Prosecutors can file a criminal complaint, they'll probably do that on Monday. Otherwise, Neo could walk. In this case, no indictment has been returned yet, you guys. Nothing. No criminal complaint, nothing. Just because you see a case number and you see David Burke behind bars, nothing's happened to that extent. Now, why does this matter? Because arrest equals police action based on a probable cause. They can't just arrest you. Then you got the indictment / charges. The prosecutor's action after reviewing the evidence will tell us if we're going to have a trial. Then the arrest simply means police believe they have enough evidence to detain him, obviously, and to get prosecutors to file the correct charges. All right. So that's where we are. I'm really hoping that we get good news on Monday.
What do you mean present the case? That makes no sense when you listen to what the police are saying. The DA has had this case. They're the ones that made the decision to go to the grand jury. So why is the DA doing this and deciding apparently to file charges rather than to get an indictment?
All right, we don't need to watch this again, but I wanted you to understand that that's a probability, it's a possibility, all of that. Now, these are the main people that have been working on this case that I've been following. Lauren Conlin, TMZ, obviously, because it's a Hollywood case, and News Nation quite a bit. So Mark Garagos weighed in on this as well, and Mark Garagos said, you know what? I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm not sure why they did it this way, but I've never seen them not move forward with something at this level or at this stage. Everybody's worried about it, right? SF investigates. Let me make sure you guys can see. Foxy has talent. Foxy. Harvey needs to relax, right? He looks so tired. They do want it to stick. Is Flojo in the house? Come on in. Hit that like button. Share. All right. So Steve Fisher is a pretty important person in this case. I know some people like him. Some people don't. Doesn't matter. All I'm here for is the facts. And he has a lot to say about this. It's been 7 months since they found Celeste Riva's body dismembered in the front of David's Tesla, and still no charges. No press conference, no answers. LAPD's own press release told the public that there may be no criminal culpability beyond concealment of a body. Now, we know that's a lie. There's a reason. Now, concealment in California is a freaking misdemeanor, guys. We're talking about Ramon Preciado. That's in Texas. In California, concealing a body is a misdemeanor, which means nothing. Now, dismemberment is mutilation of a corpse, which is a felony if they can have enough evidence to prove that David did that himself. The DA's own legal filings confirm her body was cut apart and placed in separate bags. That is not concealment, and that they knew from the day one and lied to us. So why are LAPD and the DA lying to the public? Well, we don't know. They also sealed the medical examiner's report, claiming it was only to ensure detectives received it first. So he asked, why the silence? Why no transparency? Why no charges? And this is still true. This is all true. There's no transparency, no charges. What are they hiding? I hope they really have a trick up their sleeve. All right. Yes, in California, it is. All right. It's a freaking misdemeanor. Now, when you look at the September 29th, 2025, it was the robbery homicide division investigating the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right. So LAPD, the robbery department, or RHD, had been diligently investigating the death of Celeste Rivas over the past several weeks. At this time, we can confirm Celeste is deceased and her body was found in the front trunk of the Tesla belonging to David. The vehicle had been parked at the location from which it was towed for several weeks. Miss Rivas Hernandez may have been deceased for several weeks before the body's discovery. Now, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has not yet determined the cause or manner of death, but they have now. As it is, it remains unclear, and culpability beyond. This is what he was talking about, them lying about. It remains unclear whether there's any criminal culpability in this case. All right. There's going to be a person who willfully mutilates, guilty of a felony without authority of law is. So basically, if they can prove that he mutilated her body, even if they don't prove that he killed her, they can get a pretty hefty charge. All right. That's what I'm trying to say here. And guys, now that we have the medical examiner calling it a homicide, we're in good shape. We're headed in the right direction. All right, come on in, everybody. How you doing today? What's up, CM? How you doing? Yeah, it is a lot backwards, and it has been, rightfully so. Cali's out. I love California. I can't complain, man. But yeah, failure to report a death and improper disposal of a corpse are the two charges we have in California that are misdemeanors. I don't think they're going to get that. Now, there's 111 in chat. Say a prayer that Celeste gets the justice she deserves. All right. All right. It's moving in the right direction. It's just not there yet. So I don't want you guys to think that this is, oh, he's being charged with death or homicide or whatever. No. We're not there yet. Still. All right. So this just came out minutes before I saw you guys. The medical examiner did rule Celeste Rivas' death as a homicide, which means homicide, someone else killed her. She didn't overdose. She didn't hang herself. She didn't jump off a bridge and then someone came along and dismembered her. Somebody killed her. That's what the medical examiner is saying. Now, if this were ruled any other way, we might have to go through a long process that may never happen. Had this been an overdose, or so they would have found, high levels of drugs in her system, then it's easy for him to say, oh, well, yeah, she OD'd. I didn't know what to do. I panicked, etc. And he can point the finger at 10 other people. And then there you go. The jury comes back with reasonable doubt. But right now we're halfway there. Now, a critical piece of evidence in the David murder case is what caused Celeste Rivas' death. And a high-ranking LAPD source tells TMZ that the LA County Medical Examiner has ruled her death as a homicide, but we just don't know why yet or from what, because she was so heavily decomposed, guys, that it's hard to tell what happened. She's missing body parts, guys. We found the head and the torso and the trunk and the legs and the arms, or leg and an arm in another bag. How can you determine the cause of death? Now, the medical examiner had trouble determining it because of the decomp on her body. Now, a source connected to the ME is the one that told TMZ at that time they were told they would never know, or they may never know, what Celeste's death was. Was it a homicide? Was it accidental? Was it self-inflicted? But according to LAPD, the ME's office believes they figured it out, and rightfully so. Let's watch this guy be in custody.
I saw him walk in with his cowboy.
Oh, even I get ads. See? I see you guys bitching about the ads. You ladies might like this ad. Farmer and the wife. He just took his shirt off for you. That's so funny. That's like the last thing I would ever watch. Go watch it, guys, if you like that kind of thing. Just come on and bring my rest up. I want to stay on this article. All right.
It's gonna obscure my view from the gate. It's good.
If you try to run or if you try to resist, you will get hit with left feet or it's gonna hurt.
I got you.
If you try to run, we have canine on premises and you will get bit.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the gate is locked.
My guys.
Do I open the gate?
No,
Sir?
I know.
Open the gate.
I really am excited that they made a spectacle out of him. Okay. I'll show you what his house looked like after. You're going to say, this guy's not, he's a pig. And I think he absolutely knows what he did to Celeste and that they're coming for him. Now, again, they got him, but you'll see what I mean when you see the place. Helicopters. There he is right there, guys. Right here. It's not like you could hear anything anyway, but they made a spectacle of him. He looks like he's been just holed up in that house by himself, being depressed, waiting for law enforcement to come. I got to tell you that because, guys, everybody turned on him. All right. Everybody turned on, well, except his parents. His parents didn't turn on him, but everybody else did. All of his friends. Now, you guys know David was arrested yesterday in Los Angeles. It's been over 7 months. Right. And the decomposition of the corpse found in the trunk is what was holding up a lot of this. So many of you might ask, well, why did it take 7 months? That's exactly why. All these little hiccups. That's why. Members of LAPD robbery homicide showed up and we got video showing him in handcuffs. Where's the handcuffs? Did you see that?
Over cause of death that we are told and have been told for a long time after Celeste revealed.
No, that wasn't up to date, so we're not going to go there. We now know that the cause of death is homicide, and David's attorneys are saying, prove it. All right, the evidence in the case is going to show that he did not murder Celeste, and he was not the cause of her death, and that's it. They reach out to medical examiner. Now we've got it. All right, so let's get into it. Let's take a look at the place. Let's look at where he was staying, because I'm telling you right now, this guy looks like he's just at the end of his, he knows the end of days are coming for him, right? I kind of like Reddit sometimes on these threads because they put stuff out that you can't get on the news. So this is a Reddit D4vd idiots, David idiots, all right? But I want you to see them, like how they broke the door in and what conditions he's been living in. All right, Maggie, good to see you. Agreed. He might also have I think that's easy to say that, but I wonder what he's really diagnosed with. All right, so look at this. This was the place he was staying in Hollywood. This might be what he called a cottage. All right, so take a look at these photos. This was inside of his house. Look at that. Does it look like he's having a good time by himself, or what's happening here? Everybody's already turned on him. Hey, Flojo, is he in here? Don't they have to tell you what you're arrested for? Well, of course they do. He's booked and arrested for, but doesn't mean that they have charges or indictment. Of course they do. It's suspicion of. But yeah, and they don't have to technically say you're arrested for this or that. They don't. Right, but look at that place where he's staying. He's got Clorox over here with the food and the trash bags. The door's kicked down. It looks all worn down and like Look at the back out here. It looks like they definitely weren't using it. It was just dirty and unkempt. There wasn't people out there. It doesn't look like it, right? It looks like he was kind of staying there by himself in what they call the cottage. So I think this is also, guys, the same place where they believe this could be the crime scene of what happened to Celeste Rivas. I need you to remember, yeah, probable cause is what they arrested him on. They have to have a probable cause, which is like, hey, we think you took the life of Celeste Rivas. We're going to put the evidence together and we'll indict you, and here will be the charges. It's just not there yet. However, I say that to say there has to be another place where she was dismembered. Somebody had to have dismembered her and put her in those bags and then put her in the car. So there's got to be a crime scene. It was not the crime scene in the trunk. All right. There was no crime scene. And if they would have had direct evidence or any DNA tying him directly, they probably would have arrested him sooner. All right. He has no job yet, can still afford it. Well, he still has money coming in. That's why. And he has his parents. So there's that. Are you saying Santa Barbara? All right. What's up, Cynthia? Good to see you. Yeah, there's a lot going on today in this case. And yeah, I could have played a video, right? I could have just played a video for you, but I wanted to get everything for you. So SF a month ago also has proof, guys. And I want you to realize that Celeste wasn't the only minor that David was grooming and messing around with. All right. So I want you to realize that he's a pedo. Not only is he's allegedly a murderer, but he's a pedo. All right. Alleged, in my opinion, whatever you want to say, he's a pedo. And, SF Investigates has been watching him for some time now. And he says he hasn't been very vocal about his belief because there's not enough evidence yet to charge David with homicide. But then he goes on to talk about, in California, an adult who conceals a minor / runaway from their parents can be charged with child abduction. I do not believe David could use that defense, which I don't think so either. That's weird. And that he didn't know she was a minor, because everybody knew. Now, David and Celeste appeared in the Delete Everything video that I showed you earlier. That was January of 2024, before she first ran away. Then she was reported missing for the first time on February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day of 2024. Guys, it's been 2 years. And she was last seen on February 14th by her family, what have you. All right. Remember, we saw the teacher told the class that law enforcement had found her at a house in Hollywood Hills. People knew who Celeste was hanging out with. And back in October of 2025, Steve said he requested investigative files from the LASD, West Hollywood Sheriff Station, regarding any witness and suspect interviews to Celeste and David in the house of the 800 block of, I think it's Doheny. Now, in November, they sent Steve a letter confirming that the files did exist and referred him to Riverside Sheriff Department, who then opened the missing persons report. So he's been doing some work on this, guys. All right. I'm not going to get into David threatening people. I can imagine. Money, money, money. Look, if charges aren't filed on Monday, everybody's worried about this, guys. I'm not too worried, but we should be a little bit worried. All right. If charges are not filed by Monday, he will be released. No other thing to go around it. That's it. Now, I was listening to the Two Angry Men podcast earlier with Mark Garagos, and they were talking about all of this. But they say that he's spoken with people high up in the DA's office who say they were not ready to charge David, but LAPD was sick of waiting, believing there was more than enough evidence. Right? The podcaster says that the DA didn't have its ducks in a row and they wanted more time. But they're working with LAPD, guys, and LAPD wanted to force the DA's hand by making them arrest David. Now, if Monday comes and the DA doesn't file charges, David's set free and he can do whatever he wants. All right. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that really doesn't happen. All right. We need justice for this little girl. Let's pull this down. I got too many. How you guys doing today? When I'm reading, I can't talk and read at the same time. Well, I'm talking, but I can't interact. What's up, Ben? All right, let's do this. So this is what you see. This is, this is from a probable cause. This is an arrest record. He was arrested, but there's no charges, so to speak, right? That he's Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and they've got his booking number, and all the record details. He's just gonna hang out there until Monday, right? I never had even heard of this guy until this happened. So I guess he made himself famous, huh? Oh, Girl Santa Barbara Hot Springs are awesome. They also have ones in Calistoga, California, right by Napa. They're awesome. All right. Let's get into it. Oh, we're already into it. 51 minutes. What's next, guys? Let's talk about that. And we're going to talk more about the charges, etc.
Analyst Brian Buckmeyer for more. Police say, Brian, the girl's body was found in the trunk of the car, registered to David back in September. So are you, surprised it took this long to finally arrest him?
I'm surprised it took this long, considering that what you're talking about happened back in September 8th. And we're now here in the middle.
Now, let me just answer that because it's a Friday, guys. We're in chill mode. I'm not really, because there's a lot that I want to get out there and not miss anything. There's no double jeopardy. They can say we can't charge him at this time. We're not happy with the evidence. It's too circumstantial. We want more. That has nothing to do with it. But what he can do at that point, now that he knows he's arrested, is he can take off in one of his private jets that he has chartered for him and go to a country that doesn't extradite. He's free to roam. He's free to go wherever he wants. And he's the kind of dude that probably would do that, or he would take his own life because he'd rather be dead than to have to go to prison, going from making millions of dollars in a $20,000 a month house surrounded by little girls and even boys, right? Going from that to that. I don't think he's going to want to do that. I don't think he's going to want to give up that lifestyle. All right.
Almost near the end of April, and we're just getting arrested now. I would imagine that certain pieces of evidence, whether it be talking to David's close friends or associates who might have been involved or known about this either after the fact or beforehand, or even the autopsy report would have given us enough light well before today to either give law enforcement opportunity to arrest.
Yeah, but they sealed that. They didn't seal it because she was a minor, though. That's not why. This whole case has not been transparent.
Arrest David or not. But I think that late autopsy report and some of the information that we know came from the grand jury doing investigations, doing subpoenas, getting people in to be questioned.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
So I think the better thing to say is probably better late than never.
Got it. So David actually has a song called Romantic Homicide.
Now, when you look at my thumbnail, that's what I put on there was the romantic homicide, quote unquote, what he's saying. And CM, let's hope that he's not Diddy 2.0. They overshot, guys. I'm very disappointed in the Diddy case. They overshot their shot, and he'll be out very soon. Now, Diddy's been in custody for almost 2 years, and he only got 4.5 years. And I believe it's 85% of the time because of the violence but with the trafficking and just everybody that came out and talked about how he raped them, he ruined their life. He got 4.5 years. Make that make sense. Good night, Amy. Have a good one. We'll see you next week. All right. Make that make sense. Yeah. All right. Let's continue.
Homicide that came out in 2022. I just want to take a quick listen and get your take on the lyrics.
In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it.
That's horrible music, by the way. I'm sorry, but I didn't know this kid until this happened. If he comes through unscathed, he's going to probably one of the richest people we're ever going to see. I just don't like his music. I'm not vibing with it. I'm not this 20-year-old kid that thinks it's cool to want to chop people up and no, it's just, no.
All right, little grim, a little creepy, a little ironic here. I mean, you heard the lyrics there. Do you think they could be potentially used against him?
It's definitely something prosecutors are going to look into. I think I've also looked into the song as well, and there might be some overtures about how the death happened, similar to that of Celeste as well. They, being the prosecution, would have to show that there are clearly pieces of evidence that either are corroborated by this song or closely linked to this song, in order they can show either.
Now, they could have used that in the probable cause, all right? They could have used that, but it doesn't mean it could be something that is going to put him away. I know, stupid-ass music. I can't even believe that. What's up, Rocco? Good to see ya. You're very liberal area. I bet he walks. I hope not. I'm in California too, and I'll be very disappointed. Yeah, his net worth is $2 million, and that's wild because I'm pretty sure there's more somewhere the way he was living, but I also think that his manager was letting him do what he wanted, so to speak, right? His manager was letting him party with 12-year-olds, party it up with the 12-year-olds and hiding. All right. Nina Drew, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I've heard better music on a TV commercial. I've heard better music from my cell phone. That's a ringtone, freaking ringtone that everybody uses. I've heard better ones than that. That's how much I wouldn't use his music. It's garbage. Yeah, there you go. AI generated garbage. Finally arrested Nina Drew, and you came perfect timing. Thank you for being a member for 13 months. We're getting into all of what the arrest means. Now, if they don't indict him on Monday, Nina Drew, he could just walk right out. So they better move fast. All right, I'm going to gift, as soon as we get into the next one, I'm going to gift some memberships. We've only got 3. I mean, we got like 7 more to go. I don't know. We're going to get to the goal today, but if you want to help me with memberships, gift one, get one, however, that'll be cool. If not, it's all good. All right.
Or evidence of guilt, some sort of intent. But the similarities, you'll see many defense attorneys, much like myself, making the argument that this is art. And art can sometimes replicate life. It can sometimes talk about life. It can talk about the highs and lows. But simply because someone is accused of a crime and they have music that is similar to that crime, it doesn't mean that the song itself or the video that is accompanying it would be evidence of a crime or evidence of guilt or evidence that would be allowed for sentencing. So prosecutors might try, but they're going to have to find sort of connective tissue to make that legal argument.
Brian Buckmeyer, good to see you.
Yeah, it might be a little bit harder on this case, but I got to tell you, several times when rappers are on trial for doing something stupid, they introduce their music. Why is that? They'll introduce their music, no problem. All their lyrics talking about hoes and guns and shooting and killing. I've seen that. So I don't know. I hope we have better evidence than that. All right, so anybody that just came in, come on in, hit that like button, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. This is going to start us off on our topic exactly where we are on 4/17/2026. All right, so we did a back story from yesterday and prior, and now we're on the 17th today.
David has been taken into custody per LAPD. Today, we're finding out exactly why. Apparently, it's due to suspicion of killing Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found in the front.
Okay, so that answers your question as to why he was arrested under suspicion of killing Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right, got art right here on an elevator. His music is not for me, but he does have a confession song. Yeah, we've looked at a lot of those. Yeah, he did. He said it's art. And I laugh. That's laughable. That's not my kind of art.
Of his Tesla 7 months ago. Following the news of him being taken into custody, his defense attorneys provided a statement declaring his innocence. Defense attorneys Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peters said in an email, quote, "Let us be clear. The actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death." Police are saying that investigators are expected to present their case to prosecutors at the LA Miami-Dade County District Attorney's Office on Monday, April 20th. And in a separate statement, the District Attorney's Office said that they are aware of the arrest and its Major Crimes Division will review the evidence then to decide whether criminal charges should be filed. So essentially, while he has been arrested, he has not been formally charged with anything at the time that I'm making this. As we know, a grand jury has been convening for the last several months in hopes of securing a murder indictment against David.
Look at that picture of her. That looks like she just got into a fight or something. I noticed that earlier and I was like, what in the hell is going on here? Look at that picture of her. Hair's all out of sorts. That's where she looks like she's freaking 11 or 12. So unacceptable. She's a little girl, guys. What's up, Vil girl? Mickey Mouse? All right. And the parents should have protected her, but I don't think that I think that they lost control of her when David got control of her, groomed her, and then the parents didn't even speak much of English, but David was supplying them with money. So go figure. Let's talk about trafficking now, huh? Ridiculous.
Who was the target of this investigation. David's attorney confirmed, quote, "There has been no indictment returned by any grand jury in this case and no criminal complaint filed. David has only been detained under suspicion. We will vigorously defend David's innocence." So at the moment, it's kind of still up in the air whether we are actually going to see charges against him next week. On Monday the 20th, either charges will be filed and he will continue being detained, or charges are not going to be filed and he's going to be released. This is a little discouraging because we don't know if the grand jury finished convening and just chose not to return an indictment, or if the DA just chose not to seek an indictment with the grand jury. This is definitely one of those situations where it's either now or never, I think, but we will see. At the moment, though, he is still in custody and will likely remain in custody over the weekend. What do you?
Well, I don't like the now or never, guys, because if that's the case, he's probably never going to get never going to be charged. Yeah, they basically sold her. They should literally add trafficking not only to him, but to the parents. They should charge it. They saw her. We've covered this case before. I have a playlist you can go back to where she was with her parents. They have a video and she goes and takes off again. Remember, she kept running away. When they talk about a runaway, they're talking about it again and again. I know. She's a little girl. Look at that damn picture. It irks me so bad to see that picture of this little girl. This little girl was being groomed. I'm sure David bought her the phone and did the matching this, and there she is there with him, just grooming away. All right? Introducing her to probably everything that she shouldn't be introduced to. Yes, she did. And all online. You guys, if you guys have kids or grandkids, that can happen to any one of us. All right? Any one of you, any one of us. You have a child that age. It's just, yeah, there's another potato. All right, let's move this out of the way. Again, justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right. Let's outer lesson. Let's get into the arrest and what investigators left us with. All right. This is perfect. As I was driving home, this came on and I was like, yes, this encompasses everything I've been watching today. So we've got powerhouse people that have been working on this, and we're going to talk about what's next and the legalities, and do they think that Mark Geragos and the people that are lawyers or ex-lawyers or prosecutors, they all have a theory about what's going to happen next. Neo is not off the hook. That means nothing. He needs to testify. He already did now. He flipped on him, and even in public, he said, "Oh, that guy's like," he publicly flipped. If he publicly flipped, I'm sure he talked his ass off to them. So Neo has nothing to do with this unless David comes in and says, and they have evidence to prove that he helped chop the body up or something like that. All right. Right now, Neo is just a blip on the radar. Nothing else. Nothing more.
David, real name David Anthony Burke, has been arrested after 7 months. The 21-year-old was taken into custody by the Los Angeles Police Department on suspicion of murder in the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And police say the arrest happened today with detectives from the LAPD's Robbery and Homicide Division taking Burke into custody. He is now being held without bail. To be clear, I mentioned this before, this is a major break in the case that has been haunting investigators for months. To be clear also, he is innocent until proven guilty. I'll talk about what this all means. But ever since September 2025, when police popped the trunk of a Tesla that was found abandoned in the Hollywood Hills and discovered the dismembered body of teenage runaway Celeste Rivas Hernandez, we have been talking about it. And as the investigation unfolded, there were even more disturbing alleged details emerged, including that parts of her body had been placed in bags inside the vehicle. And since then, there has been intense speculation, all of it centered on the singer named David, that the test.
Now, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go out on a limb to say everybody probably flipped on him. All right, his best friend Asia. You know how kids are, right? Now he's 21. He's not a kid, but what I mean is, at that age where you're developing and you're not completely there yet, you get, oh, you're my best friend. We're homies. I'll never turn on you. Yeah, right. The moment they arrested Neo for not talking to them and not cooperating him, he started talking. Yeah, he already talked. Not that they reserve the right to bring him to trial, however. So whatever Neo did tell them is what he's going to have to say if there's a jury trial. David and Neo sitting in a tree. Kissing. You guys are funny. His hair need to be tamed. Happy Friday, everybody. What's up? Come on in. It's nice having 110 people in chat because I can interact with you. But also, come on, let's interact. Dismembering a body as another level, Evo and Psycho. I agree. Oh, yeah, I'm going to gift some memberships right now. Here we go.
Tesla was reportedly his, that he and Celeste, who was that they claimed was his underage girlfriend, even though that wasn't confirmed by investigators as of yet. But you had apparent photos of the two together circulating online, raised a lot of questions. And Burke, by the way, hasn't been seen in public since his world tour was abruptly scrapped. Hasn't said a public word about any of this. And until now, there has been no arrest. So should we, again, I have to be very clear here. Formal charges have not been filed as of yet. This is despite a grand jury having been impaneled, so it's interesting. And police say the case will be presented to the district attorney on Monday for filing consideration. So tonight, for the big questions, I want to turn right now to missing persons private investigator Steve Fisher.
Yes. Okay. Now listen, I've been following this case since the beginning, right? Since we found out about Celeste's body. And today I was making sure to get ready for you guys so I understand the legal jargon, right? All the legal talk and what's next and what that means. And they perfectly captured this right in one episode. Lauren Conlin's also been working on this. And she did an interview with Mark Garagos. And Steve Fisher did an interview with Jesse Weber. And that was yesterday after the arrest. Now today, I came in and I saw this. I was like, yes, this is what I want to show them. By the way, I just gifted 5 memberships, guys. So if you got a membership, congratulations. If anyone wants to match me or get a membership, that'd be cool. All right. Welcome new members. Too bad it wasn't me, right? All right. Let's continue. Yeah, this is a whole nother level, but these people know the most about the case because they've been following it and digging into it. And they have sources that we don't know about.
And LA Magazine contributor Lauren Conlin. Both have been covering the story since it began. Steve, stand by. Lauren, I want to go to you. You have a few more details about the actual arrest of David, right?
Yes.
Yes, Jesse, we've all been waiting for this day for a very long time. And reportedly, David was arrested at the home he was staying at in Los Angeles. Now, we don't know where that is, but as you said, he has remained silent and out of the public eye for 7 months. So again, The details we have so far are that he hasn't been booked just yet. I did call the jail. They said it usually takes about 5 hours for processing. So we will know a little bit more information as the night goes on, how much his bail is going to be set for, if anything. And as you said, Blair Burke, his attorney, did just issue a statement, which is so interesting.
Yeah, we talked about the statement, but we're going to talk further about it because the cause of death wasn't out yet, and they're getting a little too cocky for their own good. All right, Kimberly Cunningham, how are you doing? Good. I'm always good. Friday nights, I love Fridays and Sundays. Those are my favorite days. I haven't followed this too close, so I'm learning. Awesome. That's what we're here for. If you've never heard of this case and you come to my channel, you'll usually know all about it and much more than you ever wanted to. I feel like I'm teaching a class today. Happy Friday, everybody. I want to tell you guys something funny. I was thinking of that on the way here when I was getting home so I could film. And I was like, yeah, ripped apart. Yeah. Her body was not just dismembered, it was ripped apart. If you go back to my playlist on the last episode, I talked all about her body just being ripped and hacked apart. Like if somebody just grabbed it and took it and started chopping and it didn't work. And so they tried another tool and that didn't work. So they got this and just like a Neanderthal, they ripped it apart, ripped her, Celeste Rivas. She's not an it, she's a person apart. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you. So, on the way here, I was thinking, it's crazy. When I went to high school and college, I would not do presentations. At the end of every class semester in high school, you have to do your book report, and then go in front of the class and present it. I would take lesser grades and I would be like, I'm sick that day. I never would do presentations. I would never talk in front of anyone. Now you can put 50,000 people out there, 100,000, 2 million, and I'm all for it. Let's go. But I just thought that was funny that I can't believe I took lesser grades. I'd always lose. Like I'd have an A and it would drop to a low B or a C because I didn't do my presentation. I'd always get out of it somehow. All right. So it's just interesting. I did that in high school and then I did that in college. I just didn't want to. I don't know. I had this fear of talking in front of people. And now I don't care. Now I'm like, hey, bring on the people. Let's go. You did that too, Cynthia? I would play sick, anything I had to do. I would schedule my book report for like a Friday and then I wouldn't show up. I'm never in college. I did that too. Yeah, you always took a lesser grade because I would not do that either. Yeah, I did. I just would not talk in front of people. I don't know what my problem was, but I definitely don't have that problem anymore. Because isn't that weird? It is. It's funny to look at that, man. YouTube, I don't know if it's YouTube or what, but maybe with age, I just don't care what y'all think about me. I don't care I care, but I don't. You know what I mean? It was always like, what are they going to think about me? Lady for Justice, you too, huh? Now I just, hey, whatever. 50. Oh, yeah, in person, that'd be fine. I have no problem with a whole bunch of people in person. Throw me in front of an audience at Shoreline and let me go. I don't care. Now I just don't care. What's up, Sadie Mom? I'm glad you're here. I think Celeste wanted to leave and he wouldn't let her. That's a possibility too. I think that he might have she wanted to break up with him. She threw that out there and he's like, if I can't have you, then nobody's going to. You overcame a sort of trauma. Yes, Gigi, whatever that was, I overcame it. There's a different life than I used to be.
Read it. Let me read it real quick.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay, so this is from his attorneys, Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peter. Let us be clear, the actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. There has been no indictment returned by any grand jury in this case and no criminal complaint filed. David, excuse me, has only been detained under suspicion, we will vigorously defend David's innocence. Actually, Steve, I want to start with you now with that. First, your reaction, because if anybody knows you, you have been quite vocal advocating for David's arrest for quite some time. But like they said, just an arrest, no charges yet. Isn't that confusing? Wasn't there a grand jury that was impaneled?
It's really confusing, and I'll tell you, I tweeted about this exact thing before that statement came out. I was surprised that this arrest was by complaint. It was not, and going to be sent to the DA's office to consider being charged. This is not.
Do you hear that? And this is why I wanted you guys to see this and hear this interview. This would not have been charged if they wouldn't have brought it to their attention. This would have just went. All right, Kim Wells, thank you. I'm actually wearing a Santa shirt today. It says, I don't believe in you either. I love my, I walk around my house with a Santa robe, or I go outside in my robe and I just looking like a whole Santa Claus. I think my mom thinks it's funny. Right, Mom? You think it's funny when I walk around looking like Santa? I was bullied for barely talking and not being able to be heard when I talk. Now I'm loud and everyone wants me to shut up. Well, good for you. Good for you. All colors of the rainbow. Where's a rainbow? I used to faint because I would get nerves. Well, I'm glad I brought this up because all y'all seem like you were in the same predicament. The PI that said demon was another minor. That the demon was. Yeah, there is. I talked about that earlier too. I'm sure there was. I'm like outside doing something. My mom's like, just doesn't say anything, but she looks at me. I got my Santa thing on, looking full on like Santa, like a Hispanic Santa Claus. You can't even see my tattoos. All right, let's continue. I have a Bates Motel bait proof. Bat proof. Bates Motel. A bathrobe. A Bates Motel. Yeah. You need to do a live. Hey, I have no problem with doing a live in my Santa robe. I posted those pictures for you guys on Christmas. I had my Santa hoodie or my hood on Christmas. I'll dress up like Santa Claus too. And like we'll go out to eat and I'll be wearing clothes that's like Santa or Mrs. Claus. It's like a quote. It's like a cross between Santa and Mrs. Claus. Oh. The Army gave me confidence. That's awesome, Deborah. No shoot vaccines. Like, what? You're embarrassing? You were bullied for being too shy and with red cheeks. I'm sorry. Well, if you read my book, then you would know what, my whole life, what I've faced. You're like at least a foot too short to be Santa. I think you're more. Nah, I've graduated from elf to Santa. I assure you. Well, we were elves too. Remember, Mom, for Christmas, I sent you the pictures with all of us in elf costumes. My son, my daughter, myself, and my wife, we all were dressed as elves. Then Christmas came and I was dressed as Santa. Sorry. All right, let's continue. I love my Fridays with you guys. Make sure everyone hears me now, and rightfully so. Be heard. Love you, Mom. My mom doesn't even say anything anymore. She probably just looks at me like, okay, it's just her.
An indictment grand jury. So either the grand jury would fail to return an indictment, or for some reason they didn't send it to the grand jury for an actual vote. So either one of those, I'll tell you, it worries me a little bit.
Well, explain to our audience why it worries you. Before you do, let me just read you. This is the statement from the LA County DA's office. Our office is aware of the arrest of David Anthony Burke by the Los Angeles Police Department. The case is expected to be presented to the Major Crimes Division, at which point prosecutors will review the facts and evidence to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to file charges. At this time, additional information is not available. We will share an update on Monday once a filing decision has been made. First, two questions to you, Steve. Were they aware that LAPD was going to arrest him? And two, why does this worry you? You're saying maybe the case is not strong?
I don't know if for sure if they're made aware. Normally in circumstances they would be, but I don't know. Is there now a break possibly?
I feel like it's heavy circumstantial, right? It just like circumstantially, if you never got a piece of DNA from me, a piece of hair, a video, but then you guys find my neighbor's body in my trunk, right? That's circumstantial. It points right at you. If someone else killed them and put them in my trunk, now you got to prove that I did that. And that's what's happening here. My face felt like it was lit on fire during presentation. Never again. How old are you? No shoot vaccine. Just curious. I'm 46, so this was like 20 years ago, man. Allie says, I can't believe you shy, Jay, right? Hey, I just had to grow up. Drink crisp apple. All right, let's continue.
Between LAPD and the DA's office on this case, it could be because we know that there was a grand jury impaneled. We know that because the filings that the DA's office did in Texas, that was by the DA's office, so they're aware of this case. The fact that they didn't arrest him by indictment, and strategically would make sense that they go for an indictment, I guess, if they want to keep everything really private like they have done, but now it's got to go to a preliminary hearing. So I don't know if there was they couldn't come to terms, and LAPD said, listen, we're just gonna throw it out there and arrest him and see if the DA's office picks up charges or not.
Well, look, if you're right, I mean, this could have been just an investigative grand jury gathering evidence, locking in testimony. Maybe they didn't feel they could get a majority of jurors to believe that there was enough probable cause for.
I think there's a problem in the disconnect also, guys, in this case. And I'm clearly seeing the disconnect right now between LAPD and the district attorney. Now, we don't know what the district attorney, we don't know anything about the DA or any of the people prosecuted. We don't know. Maybe they were friends with David's manager and they're like, we can sweep this up under the rug. We're not going to do anything, right? Allie, nice meeting Mama Pearl. Yes, I love Mama Pearl. Show Jay some love and respect by hitting that like button. Thank you. Sid, how are you today? I look like a millennial. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but thank you. We're going to be in Vegas. Come to Vegas. I got you guys all going now, huh? About speaking and presentations. All right, let's hope and pray that Monday comes and the district attorney picks this case up and files formal charges. Hopefully they can come to a decision on what they're going to charge him with. And that's going to be based on the evidence, right? That's going to be based on what's presented that could be in court.
For a charge, maybe unlikely because, a grand jury is relatively low standard. But then, like you said, maybe you go to a preliminary hearing in front of a judge, you present the evidence. Lauren, I got to go to you on this. Two parts. One, I mean, you said it, we didn't even know where David was. I didn't even know he was staying in the Hollywood Hills. That was a shocker, what he was doing there. But any response from his family, any response from Neil Langston, who was his apparent friend that was arrested for allegedly not providing testimony, for not testifying.
So there you go. Now we're back into talking about Neo, and I want you to understand that Neo is going to be just like Asia and just like any other person that was in that group when Celeste was there covering her face and they were trying to hide that she was 12. They all knew about it, guys. It was not a secret. And it's since this is all transpired, Asia has spoke up and Neo publicly about David, and they're dropping his ass. They're like, I'm not getting in trouble for trafficking some little girl. Screw that. I'm not getting in trouble for a decomposing body. Nope. I'm going to tell on you. Thank you, Gigi. Flojo made it. What's up, Flojo TV? How you doing? Good to see you. I didn't realize Flojo also has a mom. I think your mom's a mod too, right? Mama Flojo TV mom. All right. Go to CrimeCon. Maybe if you win the lottery, huh? All right, let's continue.
In front of the grand jury, he had to be arrested and then actually reportedly brought to an LAPD, a Los Angeles courtroom to testify. Are we getting any response from third parties here?
So I did just do some digging previously after the news of his arrest. I reached out to the Burke family attorney, Kent Schaefer. I literally just got an email back from him, and this attorney was responsible for filing the writ of habeas corpus, so the family didn't have to testify and travel to Los Angeles. And I said, "What do you know about this arrest?" And he said, "I don't know much more than you. I reached out to Josh Marshall for a statement, his manager. I have not heard back yet." And Neo Langston, I went directly to his Instagram to see if he posted anything. And his Instagram, while it still exists, it's wiped.
Yep.
He completely wiped it of every single photo. Previously, he had wiped it of just photos of he and David. Now it's totally gone. So I mean,
and he was
I
quite
think a lot-
vocal on there, Lauren. He relatively recently, Neo Langston.
I did that last week. He's like, Leo Langston. I was crossing it up. All right, Flojo, I got it. I'm gonna refresh it right now. Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. This is the first time I've heard anything about any of that. So thank you. Shout out to Flojo TV. I was watching something this morning. What is it called? Surprise Witness. And they shouted you out too, David. I mean, not David. I'm looking at David's name, Flojo. Joey. She gave you a big shout out. That's awesome. So when we're done with this, we're going to take a look. Guys, the parent, Celeste Riva's family, is giving a statement on Monday after David's arrest. This is the first time we're going to hear from them, and they don't speak English all too well. So I was a surprise witness. Is that right, Flojo? Anyway, I was watching her, and she shouted out Flojo TV, and I was like, this guy's awesome. I love him. All right. Let's continue. BJ. Who's BJ? BJ is great. Peekaboo, I see you. Flojo TV. 73, baby. No, I don't think he's going to get away with it. I think, as a matter of fact, I don't think he's going to get away with anything. He might get lesser charges, but after he serves his time, I don't think people are going to touch him with a 10-foot pole. He'll have to be his own producer, manager. That's just my feeling. It depends, but now get away with it. He already hasn't gotten away with it. He lost all of his sponsorships, labels, everything's gone. Everything that he's built is gone. The new album, gone, not coming out. So will he get away with it? I think he already hasn't. All right. This case means a lot to me. I know it does, Flojo. I appreciate you. All right. I know. And if they get life with the possibility of parole, they end up being paroled in like 12, 13 years to kick him out and get the new people in there. I know he goes on late. I was watching him last night. I can't stream 24/7, so spread the knowledge. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Flojo. This is how I came into YouTube, having faith in other creators. Well, it got knocked down real quick, but you're restoring my faith. There are some good creators out there. All right, Jay, that surprise witness, AK. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just listened. She's crazy. She gets my attention, so I listened to her. I didn't know it was BJ. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's continue. Then we're going to talk about David's arrest, and the parents are finally going to speak. Is it going to be English? Someone's going to have to translate.
Posted a bunch of kind of cryptic messages seemingly referring to David.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear to me at this point that David, nobody wants anything to do with him. I mean, everybody is like, whoa, I'm staying away, or that's what it seems like to me. But I think the big question here is going back to what Steve said. I mean, this arrest reportedly is based on probable cause at this point. So what changed? What piece of evidence came forward now that they didn't have?
Oh, and we're going to take a look at that right after. What evidence? Guys, a number of detectives were seen leaving with evidence boxes from inside the house. Now, which house? The one he was arrested from? That may be another crime scene. Also, David's attorney shows up to his home. That's crazy. I didn't even realize that. He showed up to his home just 5 minutes ago. They're saying that he must have went to go pick stuff up or take something out. I can't believe they're letting him go in there and do that? We're gonna have to look into that too.
7 months ago. That's what I'm asking myself.
That's fair. Steve, look, one of the reasons we don't have a lot of questions, a lot of answers, is because the medical examiner's report has been sealed. This was sealed right per the LAPD. I wonder now if there has been an arrest, is that going to be unsealed? Because if you hear his attorney saying he's not the cause of death, what exactly was the cause of death?
So now that he's about these charges are about to be sent up to the DA for consideration, now they'll probably switch their strategy a little bit. And if that's the case, they got something in there that they think.
Now they filmed this hours before. We now know the cause of death is homicide. That's it. That's all. We don't have any other details at this point, and we might not know. Remember, if she were strangled, asphyxiated, and many other ways, right, that you can do that, she could have been skull fracture, what have you. We just don't know, and it's a big mess. They literally left her body in a mess, guys. 2 black bags with a head and a torso in one bag and arms and legs in the other. Not all the parts were there. And imagine it just decomposing in the sun in a black car in Los Angeles, guys. And they did say it didn't look like the person knew what they were doing. Now, we've covered lots of cases where there are dismemberment, bodies that dismember, Sade Robinson, but I've never heard them say somebody was dismembered and just ripped apart. Normally someone will use like a saw. It'll be pretty consistent, not like an animal tore her apart. So that's not gonna help with this case. Yeah. Yep. It's not gonna help at all. Does Forever 21 count? Oh. Who? Troy Figs and Akio? Who's that? All right, let's continue. We gotta get through this. It's Friday, and I'm kind of starting to lollygag now that I got all the first stuff out.
Points away from David, they're going to want that unsealed, and they're going to have to unseal it anyways now because there's going to be a prelim hearing, assuming he pleads, not guilty. So it's funny. Things are going to really now an indictment and everything would have stayed sealed, and now that's different. So we're about to. If it moves forward, we're about to see a lot, I think, which is healthy, I think, for the kids.
Lauren, what about Celeste's family? I don't know if there's ever enough discussion about her family, what they've been going through, what information they have or have not been provided over the last 7 months. Have you hearing anything from them?
I mean, my heart breaks for them, Jesse. My heart really does break for them. And initially, it was really her brother that was speaking out to the press. I don't know too much.
Now, the brother speaks more English or speaks English like she does. All right. But when he spoke to the press, that was one of the things that he said was the last time he saw her, she was, what did he say? Did you know that the teen brother told NBC4 last year that Celeste was going to see a movie with David? And she never returned after that, guys. Literally, the last person to see her alive. The brother knew about it. The family knew where she was going, and she never came back. Why didn't I'm wondering why this didn't come up sooner. No damn lollygagging, Jay. Oh, no. My best friend's baby boy was killed by 2 guys babysitting. They both got a life sentence and then were transferred out of state jails. Oh, God, and released 15 years later. That happens, man. The justice system is crazy. Well, here's the thing, Donna. What I'm imagining is that they didn't have the right tools. Now, when you look at Neo and his music, he's fascinated with blood and horror and gore. I think he was fantasizing about doing that to somebody. And so, kind of like Taylor Shabiznis. Actually, Taylor Shabiznis kind of did that too. If you know about Taylor Shabiznis, she put her boyfriend's head in a bucket and then she put his leg in a crock pot box and took it in her van. She got tired, she said. She ran out of drugs while she was dismembering him and kind of just ended up ripping him apart. All right, absolutely, I agree. Kimberly, my birthday's May 2nd. I'll be 49. Woo, woo. All right, let's continue. Yeah, that's evil. Straight
about
up.
her mother and father, except I don't think they speak very good English. I think there's a language barrier. So, you know, they haven't really been vocal about this. I know her aunt initially was pretty vocal when she was
Yeah.
missing. I saw a lot on Facebook, her cousin as well. But that's really
Yes.
all I know. I'm gonna just really again stay on top of this as I have been, because I know Steve, you know, we've been working together on this a lot, and we've just been waiting for this day and for the evidence to come out. I mean, everything has
Yes.
been so secretive, as you said, right down to the medical examiner's report. And one of the first things I did, and even though I knew it probably wouldn't be available, I started refreshing that page again because, you know, I mean, supposedly or reportedly, her cause of death was undetermined at one point because her poor little body was so badly decomposed.
Steve, at one point, when this is the last part before I have to go, Steve, remember they said they didn't even know if there was any crime beyond concealment of the body. They couldn't even determine if this was, or they didn't even come out public.
That's crazy. Now, you know, they had to know that. What they're trying to say is there was not enough body left in the way that it was torn apart that they could actually piece her back together and tell what the hell happened. Well, it seems like it's taken them a while, but they've done that. I know. And if you look at David, he's happy to be like that. He's like this weird emo kind of guy. It's just odd. I think he got his money too much too fast. And he hasn't even been around that long. He's 21 years old and he's been grooming Celeste for years. Oh, I hate it. Jay, Tommy, his alter ego. Oh, did it while David watching him. Is that what they say? Is he going to go for that? Nobody's going to believe that shit. I hope nobody believes that shit. All right. Awesome. Now, mind you, you know, we're obviously we're not a law tube channel, so I'm trying to describe what happens the best that I could. All right, so let me put this. I'm gonna look at the Celeste Rivas family giving a statement, and then we're gonna take a look at what evidence they were getting, etc. And again, thank you to I just switched it. There, it was done. I forgot to put it back up. Click back, Jay. No, I got it. I got it. We're good. I put this up. I know. All it was doing was wrapping it up and saying thank you for coming here. All right. So Celeste Rivas Hernandez family is going to give a statement on Monday after David's arrest, which is good because we haven't heard anything. Los Angeles say the family of Celeste, the 14-year-old girl whose decomposing, dismembered body was found in David's Tesla, will give a public statement on Monday. Now, this is the first time we hear from them since David's arrest. I've never heard anything, but an attorney representing the family says they plan to attend David's arraignment if charges are filed. Now, as well, the district attorney's press conference, right? So following the DA's press conference, the family will come in and make a public statement through their attorneys outside of the courthouse. ABC 7 learned the teenager's parents and sister, guys, will be there in court on Monday. Now, you guys know David was arrested yesterday in connection with killing Rivas Hernandez. 21-year-old singer whose legal name is David Burke is being held without bail. All right. And he's maintaining his innocence. Again, you guys know, innocent until proven guilty. Let's take a look at this real quick.
Connection to the murder of a Lake Elsinore teen. The teen's body was found dismembered inside a Tesla registered to the singer. Hello, and thanks again for joining us here on ABC 7 Hulu
No,
and
I
Red
don't
News Stream.
think so.
I'm Colleen Sullivan.
I'm David Ono. Celeste Rivas Hernandez was first reported missing 2
Yes.
years ago. And then last fall, the 14-year-old's body
2
was
years
found
ago.
dismembered in 2 bags inside a Tesla that was impounded in an LA tow yard.
The LA County Medical Examiner has determined her death to have been a homicide, but we don't know the manner of her death. In footage obtained by the California Post, law enforcement was seen taking David into custody yesterday.
I love this for him. And you can tell in this, you could tell in the image that he looks, to me, he looks thinner. He looks unkempt, right? His facial hair is just growing out of control. His hair, he never looks like that, guys. He looks like he's going through a depression, just waiting for law enforcement to come arrest him. I guess his alter ego didn't help him out so much, did it? Right? I've been waiting to see that. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate you. Also, I do got another indication that it's a good news when I read this and we're listening to the district attorney is going to invite the family and they're going to have a statement at a press conference. That gives me a huge amount of hope that the DA is going to indict them. Could you imagine the district attorney inviting the parents that have had no justice for years? She's been missing for 2 years, guys, and this is where we are now with an arrest. Okay, so that being said, I think that it's going to go the way that we think it is, and they're going to indict him, because I'll be real messed up to invite his family and tell him about the press conference and bring their lawyers, but then they don't indict him and they don't have charges. It just doesn't seem plausible, does it? All right. Can't wait till I know, me too. Justice for Celeste. Me too. The body was in his car for like 2 weeks. They say it was like 2 weeks since they dropped the car off. It was, I mean, imagine Los Angeles heat, that dry, kind of nasty heat in a black car in black bags. All right. My alter ego was an international gem smuggler. Oh, you guys are funny. A Tommy looks bad. Is that the Tommy when he's doing this thing? Are one of those supposed to be his characters? Just curious. All right, let's continue.
In the Hollywood Hills. Right now, he's being held on no bail. His lawyers telling Eyewitness News they will vigorously defend David's innocence.
So joining us now in studio is ABC News reporter Alex Stone.
And Alex, you have been talking to a lot of your sources for a long time. This wasn't an indictment. This is for police to present their evidence. So why did it take so long for this arrest?
And that's what I've been asking all day today. And they say it just takes time. The justice is slow. But a big part of this has been figuring out the cause of death, that her body was so badly decomposed and it was dismembered that it took the medical examiner a while to figure this out. But we are told that, and I just heard in the last couple of minutes that it is now firm that Monday there will be charges, that it's expected that it will be Monday, and then he will likely be in court on Monday as well. We just got a statement from the family of Celeste Rivas, her father, saying, thank God, justice for Celeste.
Wow.
As they plan to be in court.
And guys, we're going to hear all of the stuff now. We're going to find out why the parents didn't do. When this comes out, it's all coming out. All right. Andrea, just a quick hello. My daughter's coming for supper, so I can't stay. I hit that like button. Well, thank you. Tell your daughter guilty of crime says hello and happy Friday. Okay. Yeah, I figured. This guy listening while I work. Oh, it's okay, Mrs. Bennett. You're here. You made it. It's happy Friday. Hit that like button if you could. If not, it's okay. We'll see you next week.
On Monday.
As you said, speaking of Monday, there will be a significant week next week. No charges have been filed yet. But are you pretty firm that the charges will come?
That's what it looks like on Monday. And that has been the plan going forward toward Monday when the arrest was made yesterday. And the planning, the DA's office, the LAPD had been working together on this. And we will likely see charges on Monday. Now, something can change over this weekend. He has not been charged yet. He is in custody on suspicion of murder. We expect it to be murder charges on Monday.
Speaking of charges, do you think that there may be other people who may be arrested in connection with this case?
And I've been asking that exact question because you think about what the allegations are here of moving a body and manipulating the body in that way that somebody else might be involved. And the answer that I got today was if somebody else would like to come talk to the LAPD before they arrive at their home, now is the time to do it and to make a deal now. So they're
That's crazy, man. I mean, we're getting to the wire here, and I hope he's having guilty depression, because rightfully so. Right? We're gonna get this pedo off the street. You imagine him if he gets out of this and he continues on with his career. It's gonna be another Diddy in 10 years from now. If the charges are dropped, but I have a feeling they won't be by the last bit of information that we're hearing.
making a point by saying that.
That is truly one of the curious things about this case, and we're showing the video right now. The car, you see the front trunk in Teslas, there's no engine, so there's space there. The body stuffed in David's car, dismembered, and just left there. The car was eventually towed away. I mean, I guess part of the defense could be, what's the logic in that if you're the one who murdered her?
Which is very true. Did somebody else do it, either on his behalf or without his knowing? And that why would you just put your own car there that's registered to you? And why would you do a lot of what is in this case? And we don't know. The issue of finding the cause of death, you look at it and say, well, clearly that was murder. She was dismembered. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe.
Yeah, they're going to come up with some strategic way as a defense. And I think with his lawyers and his ego, they're going to go full steam ahead on a trial. Someone was purging on dismembered body parts. It seems they have a thrill while doing it sad. Yes. I mean, he talks about that. It's like it surrounds him in his videos and what he does. It's like he's fascinated with gore in real life. I do too. I hope LA police didn't jump the gun, but I have a feeling that they didn't. Now we wait and see what charges come. Does anyone remember the case of the 12-year-old got pregnant by a man and the family threw her a baby shower? No one reported until the hospital did. No, I do not remember that. But speaking of that, I was just reading about a criminal complaint that was filed. We don't even know where that came from. Police did arrest David months after they found the body, but that was because somebody filed a criminal complaint. That's the only reason, which that doesn't take a grand jury indictment. It doesn't take any of that to have a probable cause and assume that he did that. All right. So I hope that's not the case. And I'm going to show you right after this, the David's arrest, in and out, what evidence, and then class will be dismissed.
It was what they had to figure out, and the LAPD claims they have evidence that it was murder, but could she have overdosed and somebody panicked and dumped the body? Illegally dumping or improperly dumping of a body is very different than murder. Right. And so, but they say they can prove that it was murder, and they're going to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
So we're going to hear some of their evidence coming out on Monday, or probably not. We're just
probably not
hear
evidence.
the actual charge,
Charges at first, and then we'll hear evidence down the road.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex Stone, for joining us from ABC News, and stay with Eyewitness News for.
Yeah, I don't know. I would hope that this wasn't over some stupid pregnancy or something. It's like he would have gotten a few years or a couple of years if it would have just been in the open. He'd have got a slap on the wrist, and then he could move on with his career and go on to asianhookers.com or whatever and go buy him, women that look like they're younger than 17 or 12. I don't know, whatever. But that didn't happen. And he took her life violently, allegedly. Like, what 20-year-old guy doesn't like? Yeah, but what 20-year-old guy likes porn that's all bloody and gory and dismemberment? Ew. Class dismissed. Not just yet, my friends. All right, let's see the evidence that they're getting out from the house. Which house? Now we have two different houses that they're collecting evidence from. Everything's been pretty hidden, so we don't know what else.
Arrest in Hollywood. This is a case we've been following since September. That's when the body of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas was discovered in the trunk of a Tesla registered to David at a Hollywood tow yard. LAPD homicide detectives have been working the case for months, focused on whether they could find sufficient evidence that Celeste had been murdered and whether they could prove it was David who was responsible. Now, he'd been out of sight for months and was believed to be staying with family in Texas, but we learned today he'd been living in Hollywood.
It is interesting because I heard that he was in Texas and he had transferred all of his assets and anything that he had that's worth anything to his parents, which I think that he did. Now, if he does that, I don't know how the legal system works here in California, but I believe he's doing that to save his money, his house, because now if he goes and he gets indicted and they give him some restitution, he's going to have to sell his crap. Also, it will tell them that he doesn't have money for legal counsel. And at some point, he may not be having those 3 attorneys. I want you guys to realize that. He has them now, but having a trial that's this high profile with 3 attorneys is going to be real expensive, in the millions. All right. So if he's only worth 2 million, everything else is in assets and house, and he's transferring it to his parents, he kind of already knows that he's going to be indicted and go to trial and do some time. So it just good indicators of what's happening. All right. This is the kind of crap that he likes to do in real life. This is not just like a playful thing, in my opinion.
NBC4's Robert Kovacic is live in the Hollywood Hills where that arrest took place today. Robert.
I know.
Yeah, Carolyn, let's give you a little bit of perspective as to where we are
Exactly.
here in the Hollywood
Yes.
Hills. This is Marmont Avenue, if that sounds familiar to you. It is right off the Sunset Strip, just
Nope.
above
No
the
way.
famed
Nope.
Chateau Marmont Hotel. Now, it was here in the house behind me as you take a closer look at the front door, where now we will give you a chance to look at the LAPD operation as it unfolded at 4:30 this afternoon. These are
Now remember, this was yesterday when I was streaming yesterday. We were finishing up. I don't even know what case I did yesterday. The little girl with the I don't even want to think about that. Anyway, at the end of that, breaking news: David was arrested. Right, so this was yesterday.
images just released by the LAPD, they say, of the arrest here on Marmont Avenue of the singer David, they say, for murder. Now, when we arrived here on scene, this is later in the evening, you can see a number of LAPD officers. They represent robbery, homicide, as well as the gang and narcotics unit here, assisting in the arrest, also assisting in the investigation. Now, the investigation into this house, presumably where David lived, we have looked it up. It's been leased for about $15,000 a month, but there is a for lease sign on it. So perhaps he was vacating the house upon his arrest or going to be vacating the house. But as you take a look from News Shopper 4 overhead, you can see that they are leaving with evidence boxes, evidence collected from inside.
Now that's good news, because all of that is going straight to the DA, straight to whoever's going to be. I don't know if now they need a grand jury or if the DA can do that. I don't know. Again, this is not law tube. I'm barely learning this today. Remember the other demon that did the video eating body part? Yes, oh God. Yes. Yeah. Like I said, when I started this channel, it was founded on me wanting to talk about serial killers and how their mind works, etc. But then I realized YouTube doesn't really like serial killers so much, right? They don't like the verbiage. They don't want to talk about stuff like that. So here we are covering cases. All right. Other famous singer in prison now for messing with all those young girls. We all know who you talking about. Diddy? When I heard he was arrested, I thought finally goosebumps, but not quite. Exactly. Don't get too comfortable yet. All right. Just looked it up. 12-year-old cause a predator got 20 years and her mother got 15. So many potatoes out there, guys.
Side of the house. Now, you mentioned that the LAPD has been looking into David for some time. We have spoken with LAPD Captain Scott Williams of Robbery Homicide Division confirming the arrests, and he said, we came to the house with a probable cause arrest warrant for him. He went on to say, and I'm quoting here, we did the best we could to keep tabs on him, but once we developed probable cause to arrest him for murder, then we were on him pretty diligently. And diligently they were.
Oh yeah, R. Kelly's gonna be in there for a long time. Even Chicago didn't want him. I've never heard of something like that, but did you know that R. Kelly literally got kicked out of his hometown? I hope he rots in there. He's disgusting, and I think that Aaliyah's death was a direct connection with R. Kelly and the men that were surrounding her. Remember, Aaliyah was talented, but she was young. She married R. Kelly when she was 14 years old. That's the same as Celeste. So R. Kelly, and then what? Then you go, Aaliyah dies on a plane because they loaded too much luggage. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. He needs to be. I know. I feel guilty now. I'll be listening to some, and you'll hear every once in a while you'll hear like a R. Kelly song, bump and grind or whatever, and I'm like, turn it off. No, they did, but he was. I mean, he was just enjoying over and over and over, and allegedly she was passed around to more than just R. Kelly, but that's where she got her career from. And they hid the marriage as long as they could, guys, but that's a huge pedo. Damn these guys.
Again, LAPD officers left here about 9 o'clock this evening. And the moment that they left, Carolyn, we went and knocked on the door. There was no answer. Tonight, that no one else was arrested or taken into custody, whoever was in the home with David at the time he was arrested at 4:30 this afternoon. Also outside of the home, we believe, was one of his attorneys, and those attorneys issuing a statement tonight. Let us show you that right now. It says here, let us be clear. The actual evidence in this case will show that David did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. There has been no indictment returned by any grand jury in this case, and no criminal complaint filed. David has only been detained under suspicion. We will vigorously defend David's innocence. Now, the DA does confirm that they are going to review the case to see if there is sufficient evidence for them to move forward with their case. So David right now has been taken into custody. He will remain behind bars, we understand, for the weekend until he faces a judge on Monday. And David right now, Carolyn, is being held without bail.
I think it's so funny that they arrested him before the weekend, that you really know they just don't like him. Arrest somebody on a Thursday or a Friday and watch them just sweat balls over the weekend with nothing. You have nothing. You have no money, no capabilities. You can't have a commissary because you're in between. It's just funny. It's laughable to me. I am Mrs. Bennett. We already are working on that case. I think it's on Ghost already. Thank you, Synth. Appreciate you. Yeah, we've got it on Ghost already, and we're planning to turn that from Ghost to YouTube. So all you guys, you should definitely go sign up for Ghost if you haven't. It's equivalent to Patreon. You guys know Patreon. You guys know Patreon all too well from like Paula, from Plunder. Well, they kicked me out of Patreon, guys. I guess I was too vulgar for them. So my Guilty of Crime.ghost, it's completely free. Every day you're getting news, guys, almost every day. And if you want to further support the channel and get documents you can't get anywhere else, then go sign up and do that. He's not going to take a plea deal. I don't think so, Deborah. I really think that his ego and his lawyer are not going to let that happen. Yeah, I know. We're working on that. They arrested Neo on a Thursday too. Yeah, he got out Saturday morning, but was granted. Yeah, a lot of times that doesn't happen. They do it at the end of the week and they're stuck there. I think that's the funniest shit ever. Thank you. I'm going to show that picture because earlier I was talking to you guys about David's lawyers going to the house. Thank you, Flojo, for sending that. Yes, Michaela Renee. I don't know about that last name. Maybe. All right. Let's good for knowing that. I didn't realize that, but I think it's funny as hell. All right. Are we done with this clip?
That's the very latest here in the Hollywood Hills. I'm Robert Kovacic. Let's go.
Robert Kowalsk's had some touch-ups on his face there. He's going cross-eyed right now. They better do some all right, let me show you the picture, and then I'll show you that David's attorney showed up to his house. What are they doing? Hold on, I want to show the still picture first. Again, thank you, Flojo. Let me put this in there. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So his lawyer, he's got 3 of them right now. I'll just take myself off, and you can take a look at which is going to follow. All right. So there you go. There's one of his lawyers. He's got a team of 3. Of course, Neo's talking. Good night, Lady for Justice. I only see his. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be any kind of plea deal at all. Yeah, that one may be different, but let's wrap this up with them being at the house, her being at the house. He's got attorneys. He's got a team of 3, and I wonder how long that's going to last him. I wonder when he's going to run out of money, or maybe his parents will pay for it. Anyway, David's attorney shows up in his home amidst this arrest, and then class is dismissed. Thank you guys for coming here on a Friday. I know that everybody else was streaming this too, but you guys can thank Mama Pearl for this. I said, Mom, this morning, Mom, or last night, Mom, should we cover the David case, or should we go back to Nancy Guthrie, because I have a lot to say? And she said, hey, the chat wants you to do David, so do David today. And I said, okay, Mom. Mama Pearl picked the cases today, so she does accept bribes, by the way, just so you know. You can bribe her with something and she'll put in a good word for a case. Thank you, Flojo TV. I do appreciate you. Mama Pearl, love you. Kel, thank you. What's up, Cooking with Mr. Good Looking Alex? How you doing? Did you get yourself a wife yet? Always love and light. Yeah, Mom knows best. That's why I asked her. I'm like, hey, you're the weighing factor in this. Here are my things. Okay, which one? She said David. All right. Mama Pearl, she got David. Yeah. She said she was listening to you, what you guys wanted. That's all I got to say. I listened, but I also follow cases that are just close to home or something about them.
Bail for the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Teenager's body was found inside of David's impounded Tesla. That was back in September. He was reportedly on tour at the time. NBC4's Alex Wazir joins us live with new video and reaction now from neighbors. Alex.
Yes.
Michael and Colleen, this is normally a very quiet road here in the Hollywood Hills, but about 24 hours ago, it became a police scene as the LAPD arrested the singer David outside this home. He's an internationally known singer who rose to
garbage
hits like Romantic Homicide.
In the back of my mind.
Now David is in jail on suspicion of murder.
And I didn't even cry.
LAPD arresting the singer, whose full name is David Burke, yesterday in the Hollywood Hills.
It felt like 100 police officers, a canine unit. I heard someone on the megaphone saying, surrender, surrender, come out.
The arrest comes 7 months after 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found dead in the trunk of his Tesla in a Hollywood tow yard. I spoke about the arrest with legal analyst Royal Oakes.
What's your reaction? It's a huge question about why it took authorities 7 months
Me
to
too.
arrest this man. The DNA evidence probably was gone because there was so much deterioration of the body. Plus, the authorities wanted to talk to lots of witnesses. That probably explains the gap.
Now, listen, here's the big problem too, everybody. The problem is that you can't now say David strangled Celeste or asphyxiate or whatever. Who knows what crazy thing that he decided to do with her body, even before or after. I don't know. All right. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm glad he's in the spotlight. I'm glad people are turning their back on him. I'm glad that he's arrested. And we really need justice for Celeste Rivas, because she could be your kid, my kid, your grandkid, my grandkid. You know what I'm saying? These kids aren't safe out there with people like this. I'm making homemade vanilla extract for you, Mama Pearl. I love Mama Pearl. If you guys go to Vegas, she's going to be there. She's going to be there. All right. Happy Friday.
The fact that they have made the arrest now suggests the authorities think they have a very strong case.
Around the time of the singer's arrest, NBC4 shot exclusive video of David's attorney, Blair Burke, leaving her office. Then today, NBC4 Investigates obtained surveillance video that appears to show the defense attorney near the police scene minutes later. This afternoon, Blair Burke returned to the home where police arrested the singer and made no comments as she left.
The DA?
But Blair and the rest of David's legal team released a statement saying, quote, "Let us be clear. The actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. There has been no indictment returned by any grand jury in this case and no criminal complaint filed. David has only been detained under suspicion. We will vigorously defend David."
Yeah, right. You guys are screwed. And I got to tell you guys something. This happens a lot too, by the way. He'll have these initial attorneys, and then by the time trial starts, he's got to have a public defender. And that's if they let him get away with the fact that he turned his assets and he handed everything over to his parents, because that's pretty fraudulent to do. That's very fraudulent to do. So then he can claim indigent and then have defense lawyers for free. All right. Which they're obviously never as good as paying millions of dollars, but I think that's what he's going for. I probably will. Yay. Yeah, I will. I'm coming. We're going to CrimeCon. We don't need to be in there. Yeah, but we could do that. I'm going to skip on the booth. I can't wait for them anymore. I'm just going to buy the tickets and go to CrimeCon. All right, let's continue. Don't forget to RSVP, guys, to that party.
David's innocence.
We assumed he'd fled far away.
After the singer's arrest, neighbors in the Hollywood Hills were surprised to learn David was living nearby.
We never saw anyone like him. We never saw anyone going in or out of his house. We actually assumed no one was living there.
All of our neighbors were kind of on a group chat, and we were like, this was kind of scary that we've been living around the corner from an accused murderer.
One neighbor actually told me that he's relieved that there was an arrest because he said that there have often been parties at this home. I asked if he's heard parties here recently. He said it's an ongoing problem. Either way,
See, this guy, I mean, he just was, I don't know who he is to the core, David, but he got way too much too fast and couldn't keep it in check. Now, that does happen, guys. In the music of David, isn't that a Masonic initiation? There's a possibility. I did not look in depth at his music to that point, but other people that are covering this case probably would say so. All right, we're gonna get bougie at the Bellagio. I'm bougie every day, Foxy. What are you talking about?
Monday, we're expected to get our first look at David as he's expected in court in person in downtown Los Angeles. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC.
He's going to be wearing orange, my friend. So there we are. Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. I don't need these on anymore because there's nothing to listen to. But you see these pictures here. They're all going to be laid out in court on Monday. This is part of the evidence. They're showing that the connection. Those are not AI pictures that you're seeing. That's David with Celeste. All right. And even though he tried to scrub himself off the internet, a little too late, buddy. Everybody's got you pegged. All right. Let's go to Spencer. You guys are you coming to Las Vegas or do you live there? David was inspired by Sean Diddy Combs. Yeah, exactly. They can't get anything from him. That's another thing too. If there's restitution, any of that. All right, guys, happy Friday. I don't know when my episodes went from right on the dot, an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours and 8 minutes, but I'm going to blame y'all for that. Every time I say, okay, let's go, you're like, no, Let's do more. All right. Justice for Celeste, guys. I will be back on Monday. All right. I will see you on Monday. Unless I'm sick or something, and I don't think I will. See, Flo Joe, he even said that. You're going to be on the rewatch crew. 2 hours and 8 minutes is a long time after a full day of work. Oh, the party just started. Flo Joe just got here. Oh, man. All right, guys, I love you. We didn't even come close to the goal tonight, and I'm cool with that. It's all good. Hopefully, you guys got a membership if you needed it. If you need medication, go take your meds, and I'll see you guys on Monday. This is great. Good night, guys. Love you. Thank you. One more time. And we'll follow that up with that. Good night.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?